Chart here with the Thedadbod. Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Word, where we take military terminology and lingo and translate that, dumb it down for you civilians, so you can understand when your veteran friends are talking. Today we're going to do a twofold. We're going to do two words because they kind of go together. Being a Marine, you hear about this and you become these, or you are these, as well as the Navy. The first word we're going to go over is a pollywog. So a pollywog, in simple terms, is someone who has not crossed the equator. This usually happens on a ship. It doesn't happen on a plane or any other kind of travel. You got to be on a naval vessel, and when you cross, if you go and sail and never cross the equator, then you're still a pollywog until your very last day. The other word we're going to be reviewing is a shellback. Shellback is someone who is on a naval vessel that crosses the equator and becomes a shellback. So you don't just become a shellback by crossing the equator. There is a ceremony that is done on the naval vessel by all the other shellbacks to the pollywogs to welcome them into the shellback club. I myself am a shellback, and I was a pollywog until I crossed the equator. So anybody who knows what a pollywog or a shellback is, there's conversations, hey, are you a shellback? And no, I'm not. So that means that person, whether he was in the Navy, the Marine Corps, or even the Army, in some cases, are on naval vessels. I do believe that there were some Army personnel on the naval vessel that I was on, and they went through the ceremony with us, and so we all became shellbacks together. Up until that point, we were pollywog's. It's not something that's expressed or it's not something that's used all the time, and you don't really talk about it a whole great deal. I would assume unless you're in the Navy, maybe. I don't know. But once you go through the ceremony, it's kind of it's a rite of passage, really. And you can have senior enlisted and senior officer people that are pollywog's have to do, for that particular ceremonial purpose, do what the junior enlisted and junior officers tell them to do, because let's say the junior people have been through the equator and they are shellbacks, and the senior enlisted and the senior officers are not. So it's a rite of passage. It's nothing too major. I know that the ceremony had changed quite a bit from when my cousin became a shellback about 3 or 4 years before I did. We talked about the differences in the ceremony and what we had to do and stuff. And so, my cousin probably went through a little bit more of a, hazing type thing than I did. And today's people that cross the equator, who knows what they do. I can't speak on that. But I can tell you it's something that's voluntary. It's a rite of passage. 99% of the people on the ship that are pollywogs will participate in it, so they can become shellbacks. You get a certificate, you get a little thing that you can carry in your car, in your wallet, as well as an actual decent sized certificate stating that you are a shellback. It has, Neptune on it, Captain Neptune. Ask anybody who's possibly a Marine, because not all Marines do it, but possibly a Marine and your sailor veterans about it. It could be a conversation starter, and it lets you learn something about naval tradition. So that is today's words, pollywog and shellback. Again, thank you for joining us for another weekly word. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Also, like the video, share the video, and leave a comment. Thank you.